Welcome to Courtside. I'm your host, John Brown, with the head coach, Chris Talley. Postseason basketball is upon us here as the Final Six will start, and with next week with districts. Coach, a fantastic way for you guys to close out the regular season with a 3-0 week, really kind of building some momentum here as we enter into packed playoffs here.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. That was a good opening.
Thanks, appreciate that.
I feel like it sounds like the same every time, though.
You mean welcome to Courtside, I'm your host?
Yeah, or just maybe the whole, is it scripted or?
Well, I'm thinking about it prior to the show about what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I thought momentum was a big thing for you guys as you talk into that game right there, because that was a really big game against Boardtown for you guys. It got you all the way to the 3 seed,
Right.
and it moved you up in those district rankings because there's no more regular season games, no more opportunities for you guys to earn points for that too.
We've got lots to talk about
Lots
today.
to talk about
Yeah.
here. So,
Yeah.
what do you agree? Momentum's the right way we want to talk about things?
Yeah, I think any coach would agree with that. At this point, you don't want to be spinning your wheels a little bit. So to get 3 wins going into, do or die situation, one and done situations, then yeah, I'll take that.
And 2 of those games you had to go on the road to
Right.
last week. So let's talk about the first game. You went to Upper Perk. And Upper Perk, doesn't have the greatest win record, but they played teams tough. And you said about last week's show,
Yeah.
the previous week they played Upper Marion, and it was a single possession game in the fourth quarter. But kind of you guys, once again, you got on teams early a little bit and just kind of had the other team had a tough time coming back from it too.
For sure, I think you explained it perfectly. We kind of told those kids we're on the road. Upper Perk's kind of a further distance than most of the packed schools, and you can't look at their record because at this point a win against Springford in their season would make their season. So the boys responded. They played well, and yeah, we led wire to wire. Got a lot of guys in, and it was a good game.
All right, let's check out the highlights from Springford Upper Perk.
Yeah, this is
Pressing off the bus.
right off the bus. And we switched it up. It's this time of year you're putting some different wrinkles in because there's a lot of film out on you, and
Yep.
so you got to be able to adjust and game plan accordingly. Long highlight here, Coach. Who was that?
The
Coach?
press, and then you got a little bit of some trap, and then you got a block at the end there, it looked like.
Yeah.
Don't know who had the block, but.
I think it was Kovaleski.
Okay.
And then we turned it over.
There it is. Love it. The ball doesn't hit the floor one time. Nothing but passes.
As Coach Puffko would say, that's East Stroudsburg transition at its finest there. He loves the throw behind pass and transition.
Yep. Here you are with the block and transition now.
The ball's moving though, Coach.
Gives up a good shot for a great shot, but missed. But offensive rebound. There's Trey on the offensive glass for you.
Yeah, a good sequence. Just
Nice pass.
who's that? Kovaleski to Kresley
Yeah, it looked
there.
like.
Yeah, when that ball's moving, it finds that open person.
Those that come watch the basketball games hear you say that a lot. You hear that conversation from you. Get it moving, get it moving. They hear that from you.
Yeah, I get it hopping is
Hopping's
yeah,
your word.
Yeah, I feel like I catch some slack for that. A lot of my one.
Oh, there's Trey with a dunk.
Yeah, he's had plenty of them this year, Coach. And
There you guys are in transition. Pat finishes and one.
there's a defensive highlight there with I think that was Medeiros again.
There's another guy filming that right next to Ben right there. You can see him. Oh, it doesn't go for the dunk.
Yeah, I thought Kovaleski kind of just got caught in between his steps. I thought 2 things were going to happen there. One, he was going to get a dunk, or he was throwing it off the backboard for Trey or something.
Oh, wow. Dean Wright gets in there for a 3 ball from the top of the key right there for you.
Yeah, Dean, I think in the JV game prior may have had 4 or 5 threes, something like that, and then it was good to see him come in and hit a big shot. I think he also had 4 for 4 from the foul line this week at some point, so it was good to see him contribute too.
Right, and that's kind of been a point of emphasis, something you don't really want to talk too much about, is your ability to knock down some free throws in basketball games. And magnifying glass here in the postseason, people are going to be looking at it. But once again, it's not something, you're practicing every day shooting free throws. You do it.
Yeah.
The boys just have to go up and make some free throws at this stage.
Yeah, the margin of error at this point now is, a lot different than the regular season. So every missed foul shot could come back to haunt you. So you got to shoot a good percentage.
And everybody in this Final Six we're going to talk about, minus Smith Acton, has beaten anybody. So really on any night, it doesn't matter seeds or anything, anybody can beat anybody.
It's kind of Methacton and then everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think most people's minds, yeah.
And we said about momentum. Well, what happened to Methacton in their last? Now they lost to a pretty good Wilson Westlawn team from District 3, pretty good team. But once again, when we show the district rankings, you're going to see what happens. One loss can do to your rankings in those districts too.
And that was one loss to a team that has 19 wins and one loss. So it's you drop a couple spots.
Wilson's got a pretty good player down that way too a little bit. He's getting some colleges checking out his game too.
Tony Bennett just doesn't come to high school games if he doesn't think you're good.
Yeah, right.
And he's been to a couple.
They just won a national title at Virginia too.
Yeah. So.
All right, second game, rivalry game. You guys went to PV, and boy, same story you want to talk about with what happened at Upper Perk. You get on them a little bit there, and they're a team that wants to slow the pace down, and once they get behind, it's very difficult for them to make up that large margin.
Yeah, they're a team that, first off, is much improved since we played them the first time. That's a credit to Coach Poison and his staff. If you look at their scores, they had Penridge, in a tight game for 3 quarters. They kind of had Boyertown on the ropes and turned it over late. So they were, I'm sure if you had that margin of error conversation with Coach Poison, he'd be talking about that as well. So it was one of those games that had our full attention for sure. But again, to the boys' credit, they love playing PV. They love playing at PV. And to their credit, they came out and all cylinders firing a little bit, Coach.
Yeah, you see when they're winning games and in games, they're holding teams in the 40s, high 30s. And for you guys to score that amount of points, it's just like you said, it was too much.
Yeah.
Maybe roster not as deep enough over there to score as many points, but like you said, it's a well-coached crew over there, and they're a young crew too. They only think of one senior on the entire roster, so they're going to have a lot of guys back. But that's one of the situations now where they're done playing basketball. It's wait till next November time at some schools like PV and Owen J. Roberts right now too.
And like you said, that they are young, so I'm sure, not that they're happy their season is over, but I'm pretty confident that Coach Poison is excited for this offseason. He's got a lot of returners.
Check out the highlights from Springford Park Valley.
Yeah, so we're in the
Road Blues again.
The Road Blues.
Haven't seen the alternates at all this year.
Yeah, not yet. And who's that? Scrocky to Kovaleski. I think that might have been the first shot of the game.
Yeah, it's 3-0 here. But like you said, we've already played over 2 minutes, and it's 3-0 in the game.
Yeah.
Steal, foul highlight there. It's a good one.
Yeah, I think the
steal was the highlight.
Yeah, we just got to work on the duration of these highlights here. Yeah. We'll adjust that with our.
You'll talk to your video coordinator a little bit.
We have a weekly Wednesday meeting.
Okay. Wednesday meeting this week, even with the.
Yeah, you got to stay in our routine here. You got to keep Ben on his toes a little bit.
It looked like it was Slingo for 3 and 1 out there.
And then
Trey on the offensive glass.
Yep.
Nice, using the rim as protection.
Back into a little bit of a press. It wasn't a whole game duration press, but we spotted it. I think
and even sometimes the press takes teams out of rhythm. Like how they want to get the ball up the court.
Yeah.
It takes time, and you do something dumb, it can turn into a turnover.
Yeah.
It doesn't always need to be like. I think when people watch teams press, they're like, oh, they're not getting any turnovers. Well, you're disrupting what a team wants to do at the same stage.
Perfect.
Sounds like kudos to me. Yeah,
sounds like you coached a couple basketball games, Coach. Right. Yeah. The press the turnover is ideal, but a quick shot is just as good. A quick shot from somebody that doesn't typically shoot from the outside or, a rush shot, anything.
Put the ball in a guy's hands, usually doesn't make decisions out there then too. You're like, okay, let's see if this guy can make some decisions and make some of the right plays out there
You
too.
just want them uncomfortable.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, and then last game, Senior Day, Saturday afternoon matinee action. Boyertown, boy, huge matchup. Yeah. Loser was going all the way to the 5 seed.
Right.
Winner got the 3 seed. District points on the line. All the stuff you want to say. Great, also really nice ceremony with your seniors before the game. Very, very nice touching with all the families too. Before we talk about the game, talk about your seniors a little bit too.
I think that was, one of the highlights of the game. Take away the win and all that, but Pat, Trey, Michael, and Tyler. They're the only 4 seniors on the roster. they all started, they all contributed, and it was a great ceremony in the beginning. Those 4 are really good friends, and it was great to see them and their families represented.
And it shows, like how difficult it is to make it to this
Right.
stage. When they started as 7th graders, they, 15 kids made that 7th grade basketball team.
Right.
And you have that, and then by the time then they're seniors. And I'm sure when you go back in school, think about when you were in 7th grade and how many made it till there. So it's a special bond, special group between that. Kids that make it through the basketball program, you'd say.
Yeah, and that's tough conversations you have to have with 16, 17-year-olds, because I say it all the time, basketball is different than every other sport. There's only 5 kids on the court at one time.
Yep.
And there's ideally you're going to have a mix of seniors and juniors and some sophomores, and unfortunately you can't have 10, 11 seniors, because then that there's no room for anyone else. So, yeah, it's almost like those 4 were able to, find a role and stick to it, and it worked out for them, and I couldn't be prouder. They're 4 really, really great kids.
Yeah, and those 4, like you said, all had contributions, all in double digits for you that came in Boyertown. High scoring affair. Once again, I think Boyertown's one of those teams. If they're going to win basketball games, they want to keep you in the 40s, and you had 30-some at halftime. It was a tall task for them with the first half you guys put together.
Yeah, they're big. First off, you walk in the gym and they physically look like a college team. Even their JV team is.
Yeah, big.
So they play at that pace that you keep talking about. They sit in the zone, and they use that length to their advantage, as they should, and that's tough for teams. Especially if you're relying on the three-pointer and you're not making it. It's tough to get in there and get easy buckets. So we were able to kind of shoot our way out of it, and that kind of opens up everything at that point.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Made some threes early, kind of got on the board, and like you said, that I think another reason they did. I feel it's a tough gym to shoot at. Nobody really ever shoots well at Boyertown. So play the zone, make people play outside, shoot outside.
Yeah.
You can see all the benefits to how they want to run their program at Boyertown.
Exactly, and that first quarter is kind of crucial. If you kind of can get up on them and get the pace, then they start subbing guards, and then at that point you feel like, all right, the matchups are more favorable for us, and we don't have to kind of tread water on the defensive end matching up with
More
that.
coach talk. You see the ball go in, you feel a lot better about yourself. You see a couple threes go in, That's why sometimes when you're saying struggling, make a couple layups, make something easy. Well, you start seeing the ball go in. If you start missing threes, you become a little reluctant, and then it turns into that all game long.
You get a little bit tighter, a little more hesitant, and then with them, the tempo is theirs, the game shrinks, and now they're more confident playing in that 5, 8, 10 pass possession than we are. So every team, not just Boyertown, the Park Valleys, the CB Wests, it's the same game plan. Like you have to get up and you got to establish it early.
All right, let's check out the highlights from Springford Boyertown. Here they are playing that 2-3 zone.
Yeah, and you can see that back line is 6'5", probably 6'4", and another 6'5", and then they got him off the bench too.
Yeah, and I like how you really used the high post in this game against them to kind of really utilize some space and made them guard that high post, which allowed you for some outside shots.
Yeah, when we're in our zone offense,
block.
Nice from Trey. Kovaleski in that middle, that's a total strength of his, because he makes things happen. He sees the court, but
he's really good at that mid-range jumper too. He's not afraid to take it and make it.
Yeah, so it's there's
nice pass.
Great pass there. Who's that? Schlingo to Cressley?
Yeah.
In years past, you're like, I hope they don't play zone. Like this year, we're kind of happy with whatever, because
with your personnel too, yeah. Here you had a little foul trouble in the first half here, so you moved Trey to that high post.
Yeah, and there's Schlingo. He had
another 3.
Huge first half. I think he had 12 for the night.
All in the first half, 4 threes.
But that set the tone. That's the first
nice pass.
That's kind of one of those plays that goes unnoticed. Scrocky here's Pat in transition.
Love that he's not afraid to pull the trigger there too.
It's an open shot.
Shoot it.
You're not going to get that open too often. But going back to that, who's that? there.
Steal for you guys.
Scrocky.
Yeah. Nice little double team on the baseline.
Yeah. And a good outlet pass by Cressley to get us going. But I'm going back to that first series of the second half. I forget what it was at halftime, maybe 11, 13,
10, yeah, 10, 12, 13, something like that.
And, we adjusted our lineup. We were small, and we had Scrocky on number 22 there, DeGuglielmo. I'm not sure how to say his name. He's a good player. He's 6'4", 6'5". He can shoot it, go inside out. And we kind of rolled the dice, had Scrocky on him. They came down, saw it. He, I guess, seals Scrocky first play of the game. Scrocky's 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, yes.
He's just a tough kid, fronts the post, steals it, takes off, layup in transition for Trey. And I think that set the tone for the second half, and we kind of never looked back.
All right, Coach. Regular season in the books. 15-7 regular season?
Yeah, 15-7. Now we sit and wait.
Now it's 0-0. Start the records all over here again.
That's right.
All right, let's talk some postseason basketball, all right?
You got it.
All right, stay tuned through the commercial break, and we'll preview the Pac's Final Six.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met Narnese. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Courtside. I'm your host, John Brown, with the head coach, Chris Talley. All right, Coach, Final Six time here, but
Right.
Before we do Final Six, I think we got some districts. Once again, it changes every day.
Yeah.
Here's where we are in districts. You guys move up from last week from, let's say, 12 to 10. Boyertown falls out of that top 8, and they fall all the way to 11 with that loss. So looks like Boyertown and you are going to miss out on that top 8, and you're going to play Valentine's night in the first round of districts, looks like. But host a game.
Now, Penridge and CB West both have 2 games left.
Okay.
Now, you never know what can happen. I would say I would agree with you. We're on the outside looking in, but that's fine as well. It's all about matchups anyway. So whether we get in there or not is to be seen. But
I think you're gonna make the field. I feel good about your chances of being in the top 24.
we're going to have a home game.
You're gonna play a game at home, probably on Valentine's Day. That's the first round of districts.
Probably, yes.
Okay, but next week we'll come back and we'll actually know the matchups because that's official this Sunday. Is that right?
Yeah, Sunday's the meeting. We'll know. And
It'll be official for that.
Yeah.
But hopefully you're still getting ready for another packed game on.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
All right, so Final Six here. Half the teams are still playing basketball in the league.
Right.
So let's go over here. We had 2 division winners.
Yes.
Methacton, Liberty, or Frontier? I can never remember what we are.
I go big school, small school.
I know, but that's not. I don't
That's
think
not
you're supposed
official.
to say.
You're not.
I don't think you're supposed to call it like that.
Right.
Anyway, Methacton wins one division.
The
Pope
big
John
school
Paul
division
wins the
small.
other division.
Yeah.
So Methacton won PJP2. Then it's the 2 teams from each side. You're the 2.
Yes.
So now you're the 3. Phoenixville's the 2 on the other side. They're the 4 seed.
Correct.
Next 2 are next best records overall in the league.
Yes.
5 goes to Boyertown,
Yes.
and 6 goes to Upper Marion.
Marion.
So Final Six matchups here on Wednesday night right here at Springford.
Yes.
The 6 o'clock game, those Upper Marion Vikings versus your Springford Rams.
Correct.
And the game to follow afterwards is Boyertown, the 5 seed. They'll wear the road uniforms.
Yes.
And Phoenix will wear the home whites.
You got it.
The winner of 3-6 then Friday night plays PJP.
Yep. 6 o'clock game.
6 o'clock, that's the early game. And then
Right.
the winner of Boyertown, Phoenixville, plays Methacton in the game to follow, and that's Friday night.
You got it.
Winners of those semifinals
Whoa.
play
Yeah.
the following Tuesday night in the PAC championships, and all of it's there hosted right here at Springford.
Correct.
That final game, 7 p.m. start, I'm going to guess?
Coach,
Usually-
you did your homework.
I tried to a little
There's-
bit for
There's no notes there. That was right off the dome. I
Yeah,
like
just
it.
right in the dome right
Yeah.
there. So there's your final 6 matchups.
Yeah, that's convoluted how it got there,
Yep.
but it's here, and you know, we play Upper Marion, and I think all of our viewers are aware of what happened the last time we played Upper Marion. So it's kind of a great opportunity for us to try to go and avenge a loss.
I was waiting for you because you're usually a big guy. Like when I start talking about like
Yeah.
other potential games, you're like only thinking about Upper Marion.
Yeah.
Like that's usually right where you go to.
Right.
And that type of rhetoric talk that we have on the
Well,
show.
isn't that where I went?
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
here.
I was waiting for you to be like, I don't know when we'll play anything else. All I'm worried about is Wednesday night. But I felt like
Yeah.
you're aware of the playoff situation.
Now that it's concrete, like,
Now you're-
I'm able to recognize and I guess comprehend it and retain it.
Okay.
Well, there's too many moving parts, you know, before where it's like you drive yourself crazy. But now it's here, and Upper Marion is our.
You're playing Upper Marion
Yeah.
here on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So we recently played Upper Marion here. They beat us at home in overtime. They scored 80. We talked about on last week's show.
Yeah.
Once again, they're a team moving in the right direction. They like the way they're playing basketball over there.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be a real knockdown kind of drag-out type of basketball game between you guys.
They probably enjoy shooting in our gym, so they're going to have that confidence coming in. So it's up to us to adjust and defend our home court and get a win.
All right.
That's the game plan.
I think we got some highlights here from Nick from RCTV has put these together.
Yeah.
These are from RCTV's coverage when you guys played Upper Marion last.
Yeah, thanks, Nick, because they were good highlights, and they you know, kind of got everybody involved in these highlights, and you can see Upper Marion scored 80, but we scored 77.
They scored a lot too.
Yeah, and Trey had a monster game. It was just
Short-lived game.
Yeah, unfortunate he wasn't able to participate in a lot of it due to constant foul trouble. But you can see.
And it's one of those games where like you're gonna have a little size advantage, and they're gonna play a little smaller, and they're gonna try and beat you off the dribble and beat you that way.
Yeah, something's going to have to.
Somebody's got to give. Yep.
Yeah, but you can see offensively we're kind of doing a lot of good things here.
Yep.
We just got to stop them, and Trey should have his way down low if they don't have Woodward in there or a 6'10" guy. So I'm excited for Trey. I think he's chomping at the bit to get on the court against these guys.
And like you said, they had a sophomore score 30 that night. They had that freshman or sophomore, he had around 22. They got a senior big man in the middle. They have guys that can play too.
Yeah, I mean, they're in this thing for a reason.
There's the three that tied it at 77 right there that
Yeah.
finishes highlights.
Yeah, they deserve to be here. They had to kind of win a lot of games in a row to get to this point. So that's the scary part this time of year when you run into hot teams that kind of have a little bit of destiny behind them. So we need another good practice today.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck to you and the crew here
Thank
on Wednesday night.
Will you be, now that it's not technically a home game or a Springford game, it's a PAC event.
Yep.
Were you hired by the PAC
I am going to continue my
Your role?
my role as a assistant of the scoreboard and the substitution and scoring and fouling. Yeah, I'm going to
Right.
continue that process on. Only thing is, I'm going to full disclosure here.
Yeah.
Friday night had before the season even started.
Right.
Bought tickets for the Sixers. So Friday night, I'm going to the Sixers instead of coming to the Final Four.
Okay.
But Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, the finals next week, I'll be in attendance. But John Morant, I mean, he's having a pretty good rookie year. I want to go see it in action.
Good
You
luck.
okay with that?
Good luck at the game, Coach.
Thanks.
We'll send you some updates.
I appreciate. Yeah, I'll check the Twitter machine.
Yeah, thanks.
Springford Boys Basketball is doing a really good job on Twitter this year, right? Posting updates and how games end and stuff like that, or is that fake news?
It's one of our areas of growth.
Okay. As long as you see an opportunity for growth for you guys in the
We're always
Twitter
willing
department.
to reflect on the program.
Okay. Well, best of luck to you and the crew tomorrow night.
Thank you.
All right, make sure you tune in next week as we recap the Final Six and preview District 1 playoffs for the head coach, Chris Talley. I'm John Brennan. See you next time, Courtside.